rhythmically. Imagine a drummer who plays every beat out of sync. No rhythm, no pattern, just noise. That's what most professionals are doing with their minds every time they read without rhythm. You are welcome to the Smart Reading Short Break series, and I am Leslie Grace, the Confidence Coach. I'm here to help you master confidence, smartness through smart reading, smart thinking, and of course, smart speaking. Today, we're talking about how you can stop reading randomly and start building rhythmically so that you don't end up like that drummer who plays every beat out of sync. You need to now start reading. Yes, your reading has to be in sync. Your reading has to have rhythm. And that is what the conversation of today is. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, tell a professional to tell a professional that we are live on this conversation. To have you here, lovely. So good to have you here today. Okay, we're talking about how to stop reading randomly and start reading rhythmically. Yes, that's the conversation for today, and I know that you will love it being here today. Have you told the professional that should be here? Have you told them that? Have you told them? I beg your pardon. Have you told them that we are live on this conversation today? Now, there are turning pages, but they're not turning points. That's what random reading feels like. You're reading books, but not building momentum. You're not building lasting habit and legacy of your reading. You're collecting knowledge, but not creating mastery. That's what random reading is all about. So all you're doing is collect knowledge. No mastery is being collected. No mastery is being made. You know the sad part? While other professionals can read 4 to 6 books a year, which is a sad reality, when this happens, they retain less than 10% of what they read after 90 years, after 90 days. So the truth is that you don't grow by reading more, you grow by reading with rhythm. Because the more you read randomly, today you're doing one book, tomorrow you're reading another book, after 3 months you pick up another book. What's happening is that you are reducing the level of retention. The level of knowledge you retain is reducing by every day you choose to read randomly. So what keeps happening is that you are reducing it. So when you see an average professional who is doing 4 to 6 books a year, he's going to retain less than 10% of what he's reading after 90 days. So when people come to me and they complain of things like, oh, coach, I don't know why I read and I forget. The first thing I ask them is, I know you want to achieve speed, but how about steadiness? How steady are you on this act, on this habit? Because the speed you are looking for is there, but if there's no steadiness, you keep having circles of I read, I forgot what I read. You're not retaining. You keep losing over 10%. Less than you'll be losing more than 90-something% of what you read. You'll be remembering only less than 10%. You're welcome to this live session. If you're just joining us, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I'm showing you how to read rhythmically and stop reading randomly. Now, the truth is that random reading creates noise. But you see, rhythmic reading creates results. The results you are looking for from the books you want to consume will come from rhythmic reading. Random reading will just cause noise. What is the crisis of random reading? Let's talk about it. Every time you turn, everywhere I turn. So over the weekend, I was at an organization that had it's a bookstore, and then they have a library. So I keep seeing when I went in there, part of what brought me there was I love what I was saying. So the founder contacted me and said, okay, come and talk to us about reading. And long story short, the truth is that everywhere we turn, professionals are reading. So there are people reading somewhere. In fact, when I went through our whole system, she was like, coach, can you help me look at what we're doing? And there were so many loopholes. Because you know the truth, everywhere we turn, we keep seeing professionals everywhere who are reading. But just a few who are growing. Just a teeny-weeny fraction of people who are actually growing. They underline more quotes from books they read, but they leave none. They start strong every January. Just like some of you listening to me now. When this year began, you started really strong. You said, this year is the year I'm going to do 6 books every month, 3 books every month, 2 books every month, but how far? By March, their shelf becomes a graveyard of half-read books. They cannot count how many books how many of you can? How many of you have more unread books than unread mails? How many times have you started one book and ended up with 5 tabs open, all unfinished? So you started the book and you told yourself, I'll be able to do it very fast. And the next thing, check your system. You have 5 tabs open, somewhere on YouTube, somewhere on Instagram, somewhere on Facebook, just everywhere. The reality, which is the actual truth, is that random reading is the silent saboteur of growth. I need you to write it down. Random reading so it's not any better than those who are not reading, because this is what people say. They say things like, but at least I'm better than those who are not reading. No. Random reading is a silent saboteur of growth. It kills your growth. There's really not much, well, at least you're getting to open your books, but the truth is that there's really not much difference between what you're doing and a person who isn't reading. There's really not much difference. So don't pat yourself in the back and say, at least I'm getting to read. It gives the sad part about this random reading is that it gives you the illusion of progress without the structure of transformation. So whatever transformation you are seeing, whatever progress you are seeing, there's no transformation. There's no structural transformation. What you are seeing is an illusion of progress. An illusion of progress. That's what all you're getting. Not the real structure of transformation itself. So what happens is that it feels productive, but you know what? It produces confusion. What you are noticing is confusion pro max. Even though it's feeling like you are productive, but it's producing confusion. Because you don't even know where you fall. Whether you are a reader or not, you don't know where you fall. You don't know where you fall. Random reading is like eating every vitamin on the shelf without knowing what your body needs. I'll say that again. Random reading is like eating every vitamin on the shelf, but you don't know the actual vitamin that your body needs. So I'll give an example. If you are a woman in your 40s, for instance, there's a particular kinds of vitamins that your body needs. If you're someone in your 20s, if you're someone who wants to tone their body, there are different kinds of vitamins for you according to your body type, your age, your architecture, so many factors that determine the goals you want to achieve. Now, when you just go randomly pick any vitamin and just take it, then that's what random reading is like. Random reading is like picking any vitamin that you can find on the shelf without you asking yourself, what does my body need? Now, the sad reality about doing this random picking is that you end up full, but you are not too strong. Just like the person who picks any vitamin without picking what is suitable for their body. So what happens is that you consume information, but you don't gain formation. You know, information comes from it getting into you, then there's a formation. That's what information is. You get the data inside of you, then there's a formation that happens. That's what is information. A professional showed me one day, she said, I've been able to read 30 books this year. But when I was asked what changed in my thinking, I couldn't mention one clear transformation. Why? She was busy reading randomly, not building. So she said, I've read 3 books, I beg your pardon, not 30 books. I've read 3 books this year, but I cannot find where I am. I don't know what's happening to my mind. Now the truth is, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven, including your reading. There should be a time for the purpose of your reading. To everything there's a season and a time for everything. How come your reading doesn't have time in your day? There's no time, there's no blocked out 30 minutes in your day for your reading. But you quote Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1. To everything there's a season and a time for every purpose under the earth. Okay, the purpose of reading. What's the time for that in your schedule? A whole 24 hours is gone? See, even the God you serve works in sequence. Seed, time, harvest. The revelation you're looking for will flow in rhythm, not randomness. Oh, I heard that somebody read Think and Grow Rich, and boom, they've got, see, that story you are hearing. The truth is that this person read through a particular rhythm. It wasn't some random stuff. It wasn't random. It wasn't random. The truth is that without reading, your reading becomes noise. If you don't have a structure for your reading, you don't know where this book is taking me to this other, your reading is like noise. Your knowledge cannot become power that way. Your knowledge only becomes power when there's reading. I'm going to be sharing with you quickly 5 hidden dangers of random reading. 5 hidden dangers of random reading. Number 1, it scatters your focus. No. You are not focused every time you read. When you read randomly, today you read, in the next 13 days you pick up one article. After that, 2 months you say, I was busy, I've been on the rig. It scatters your focus. It scatters your focus. You start one book on leadership, and then the next thing you're reading another book on love, the next one on finance, all of them in 1 week. Your brain cannot build clarity that way. What your brain is building when you do that is chaos. It's chaos. And like planting 10 different seeds in one hole. That's what you're doing. Planting 10 different seeds in one hole. And you know what? If planters can relate, farmers can relate. If you plant 10 different seeds in one hole, which one will grow, please? Can you let me know in the comment section? Which of them will grow? Not one of those seeds will grow right. Not one. Not one. So when you read randomly, you are sacrificing your focus. When your focus is scattered, your growth is shattered. I'll say that again. When your focus is scattered, your growth is shattered. Your growth is shattered. So the growth you want to achieve, and that's why it feels like you ended this year and you don't even know what happened to your growth. You don't know what happened to your growth. Thank you, none of them will grow. You plant 10 seeds in one hole, none of them will grow. One thing the structure we have built in the book Bingers with is a rhythmical flow of reading. In our inner circle program, the book Bingers with, where busy professionals like you read a book a week all year round, is that we have structured that reading to follow a particular rhythm. So there's a month we're reading on family. There's a month we're reading on faith. There's a month we're reading your book of choice at your time. So if we're doing faith, for instance, you're reading the book on your your own faith. I'm reading books on faith in my own area. However, we've been able to theme the month, the whole 12 months of the year. We've done this year to year, back to back. But the truth is that it has been able to help us focus. One thing it has given to us is focus. So for you who doesn't have a theme, you wake up this morning, say, they're reading one book, you read. And the worst deal is you reading on one particular area. See, as a busy professional, there are minimum 12 different areas of your life. That's one thing. I did my research, of course. At the academy, we've done our research to know the 12 core areas a busy professional should build on. If you read only on family, your finances will be affected. If you read only on faith, your family life and your financial life will be affected. There are 12 core areas you should read, and there are books you should read in that area per time. Per time. So one danger of reading without a rhythm like this is a lack of focus. Number 2, it creates the illusion of growth. So I remember the other day, professional reached out to me. She said, you know what, coach, I read though. It's not, I read, coach, I read. It's not as if I don't read. I read. And I'm like, okay. She says, so I'm growing, I'm growing in myself. But I said, okay. So how did you read in March? How did you read in February? And when we went into that conversation, she said, oh, coach, that's why you are the coach. I say, yes, that's the truth. Because you know what? When you are reading randomly, there's this illusion of growth. You feel productive because you are reading, but your results don't reflect it. When I asked her, I said, do you know that in our month of finances, not my story now, a book being just shared this story, and I shared with her the testimonial. I said, here, take a look at this. And she took a look at it, and she said, you mean a book binger read a book, and then she was able to clear her debts in the UK? I said, that's it. When you read, I said, because she read a book, but the truth is, in that month of finances, she read 4 books. Not just 4 books. Now, the way the book bingers book is structured, you are getting access to your books as well as the books of every other person in that community. So it means that she did 4 books multiplied by the number of books on finances that book readers were doing, all in the same month of March. She had access to all of it, done read in small bits, what we call a book breakdown. Book readers get it, right? So when she was able to say, I don't need to be indebted in the UK, I'm returning my credit card, she knew what she was doing. Today, she's not talking about debt in the UK anymore. But you know what? You quote authors easily when you're doing random reading. That's what most of us do. Oh, according to James Clear said, we don't fall to the level of our goals. We rise to the level of you're just quoting random quotes. But the truth is that your life doesn't echo their wisdom. So you're still struggling with your habits, for instance. But you randomly read one book on habit one time like that. You know what? Like a sponge, you absorb but you never release. When you're reading randomly, there's no growth. There's no growth in that system. Information without integration equals frustration. Equals frustration. So, the first danger of reading randomly is that you lose focus. Number 2 is that your growth is stalled. Whatever growth you think you're having is an illusion. Number 3, it breaks momentum. So, you know, if you're somebody who is working on their fitness, for instance, I love to exercise every day, yeah. If you miss out some days when you want to come back, right? You lose momentum. That's what happens to your reading as well. And I hope we know that every time we read, we're actually taking our brain through a mental gym. It's a mental exercise. The exercise that your brain needs is actually reading. Now, when you do random reading, you are breaking momentum. Every time you switch topics, your brain resets. You move from finances, you read about family, you move to, your brain is resetting. And what happens is that you are losing momentum. You are losing depth. And you're just chasing variety. No depth. But imagine when you said this month we're doing family, you sit with 4 books on family. Not just the 4 books you're reading. You're in a community where others are reading different other kinds of books on family. So you have access to that. That is depth. The kind of depth you have on family life, no matter the chaos, your family cannot be solved. That is what the Bible means when the Bible said the flood came. And it could not swallow Noah's ark. That ark, do you know how that ark was built? Strong and firm with depth. When you sit on a particular theme and you go through that theme, you read books on that theme, you build depth, not just variety. You are like a runner who changes direction every minute. When you begin to read randomly, you will never reach a finish line. Imagine somebody on a race. He just keeps changing direction. He will never reach the finish line. That's what most of us do. A double-minded man is unstable in all these ways. You're not a double-minded man, are you? So your reading must have rhythm. The more you switch, the less you stick. And you need to stick. The more you switch, the less you stick. So the second danger of reading randomly is, the third danger, I beg your pardon, is that you lose momentum. Number 4, it reduces retention. I already shared in my introduction that when you read randomly, oh, hi Choco, so good to see you here. I already shared that when you read randomly, you can only retain a minimum of 10%. And that's only 90 days. After 90 days, even the 10% is gone. Trust me, this is what I do. I'm the coach that you need. The confidence coach that teaches you confidence smartness. So anything about confidence smartness, trust me, I've done the work for you. And our Inner Circle program, the book just it started some years back. So it's not new, it's not something we're learning now. No. See, the 4th danger of random reading is that it reduces retention. Your brain remembers through association. So if in the first book of January you read a book on faith, and the second week you are doing it, your brain associates. So the retention you are looking for cannot come in chaos. The retention comes from association. Moving from book A to book B, and they are associated. Do you know that even the book means just both, when we're layering month to month, we are layering associated month. So the month we're moving from faith, we're going to another thing that is associated. Because I've come to understand, and this is what I teach, that your brain remembers through association. Without a pattern, without a theme, your memory has no books. Your memory has no hooks. It has no books. All the books you're reading, without a pattern, without a theme, there's no hooks. Your brain cannot remember nothing. It's like hanging clothes on air. They will fall every time. They will fall every time. Retention requires rhythm. Write it down. Retention requires rhythm. Retention requires, you want to retain that knowledge, it would require rhythm. It will require order. It will require from point A to point B, from book A to book B. Random reading cannot make you retain. So if you're that professional that I keep struggling, coach, I read, but this is part of the, I get this complaint literally almost all the time. Coach, the way you talk about reading, I read, but I cannot remember what I read. You are reading randomly. That's why. Retention is affected every time you choose to read randomly. You're affecting your focus. You're affecting your retention. Number 5, it destroys your confidence. It destroys your confidence. See, let me say the truth. One of the greatest, I wrote a book, Mastering the Game of Consistent Confidence, right? And in that book, oh, thank you, I guess me now, much better. Let me know in the comment section that you can see and hear me now. I had a little bit of network glitch. That was bad. Is the network any better now? Please let me know in the comment section if it's any better now. I will just wait and see if it's better.